We've got one question and one question only. Do you still have your wildcard? Well, the answer to that question is going to massively help when you're building a Matchday 4 unlimited transfers team. So without further ado, let's have a look at the 3 things you need to know ahead of Matchday 4. Guys, welcome to the Gianni Buttice YouTube show. Hope you're all well and enjoying a couple of days off to tinker. We're going to address those 3 key points, and that wildcard question is so key. So let's explain why. First though, guys, if you fancy hitting that like button, that'd be much appreciated. And also, please do subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And if you're already subscribed, then try hitting that notification bell so you know when all the videos I do go live. FPL and loads of Euros content, of course, planned. So the 3 things you need to know. Well, number 1 is, when are you planning on using your wildcard? And if you've still got your wildcard or not. So top line is, if you've still got your wildcard, you can pick any team, players from any team you like, guilt-free. You can look down that left-hand side and see big teams like Spain and Portugal and France, and you can commit massively to their players, knowing that you will probably be wildcarding in the quarterfinals, when teams like Spain and Germany and Portugal have a very difficult quarterfinal, and maybe you want to spread yourselves out a little bit. But for the last 16, when you see high ceiling games, for Spain and Portugal in particular, you can go quadruple Spain. You can go quadruple Portugal, guilt-free, because you have a wild card. If, however, you don't have your wild card, you used it in the groups, absolutely fine. I'm sure you had a better week by using it. You need to look at the whole draw. So if you don't have a wild card, you're not planning on using one, you can't, you've spent it, then yes, still invest in Spain and Portugal, of course. But you're probably not going quadruple ups. You're probably looking at it going, I need representation on the other side. And when we look at the other side of the draw, well, you might pick out an Austria or a Netherlands or an England or a Switzerland and go, I think they're going to get to semi-finals. I need a couple of their players. So just think, and we'll look, guys, at the individual players later in this show of who I like from each team on both sides of the draw. So 3 things you need to know. Number 1 is, what's your wildcard plan? And for me, I'm going big on the left-hand side of the draw because I know I'm likely to wildcard in the quarterfinals. So I can go, at the moment, I think I've got quadruple Spain, quadruple Portugal, double Germany, Mbappe. Yeah, it's very big on that left-hand side. Point 2, well, what do we need to know? Well, I think many of you know this one. Spoiler alert, this is going to be a quickie. 105 million spend. Yeah, and unlimited transfers. We know that. That's the new rules for this round. Remember, as every stage goes on in the tournament, you're going to get no more money. 105 is now fixed, but you're going to get a higher transfer allocation. But ahead of Matchday 4, they've gone, have as many as you want. That's really nice. But number 3 is the key players to target. And this is where it gets a little bit fun, isn't it? So we're going to have a look at some of the data to help us with this decision, and then come back to this grid by Fabrizio Romano's great design team. So should we have a look then at the projected winners and percentages? This is why we want to back Spain, 93% likely to win. This is why we want to back Portugal, 85% likely to win. This is according to the bookies odds. This is a great graphic from Rob T. But we look on the other side of the draw, and there's some big wins there. Look, maybe Italy-Switzerland is a game that we probably want to swerve. That's the tightest game of all. But then you look at England at 86%. Yeah, we can definitely invest in England players again. The Netherlands at 84%. Same again. If the Netherlands win that, well, they faced Austria or Turkey. So again, you look at the Netherlands and go, they're probably in the semi-finals, aren't they? But this has been a Euros of surprises. So we'll look at the players I like from all of these teams now. And guys, please do remember to hit those buttons. Thank you for liking and commenting and subscribing. I'll get back to as many comments as I can, by the way. Players we like. Let's start with that left-hand side. If you're going quadruple Spain, my top 4 Spain are, you go Carvajal, Nico Williams. They're the 2 sort of nailed options for me. And then I'd look at Morata. I'd look at Yamal. Annoyingly, he is listed as a forward, Yamal. Laporte at the back. There's options there. When we look at Germany, I think Musiala is a standout captaincy option match day 1. Mittelstadt is still obviously great. At Portugal, I still think the likes of Bruno, who was rested, Cancelo, who was rested. Remember, those Spain players were also rested in match day 3. I quite like the idea of going for rested players in match day 3, a little bit more fresh. Ronaldo is going to be an option. At Spain and Belgium, is that a fixture to swerve? I'd say Mbappe, yes, and then swerve outside of that. I'm not going to be going Lukaku or De Bruyne. I'm not going to be going Theo or Koundé at the back for France. I think I'm just going to swerve that fixture. But what about the right-hand side? Many people have said, look, I've used my wild card. Or even if you haven't used your wild card, you should still be looking at teams on the right-hand side. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm still picking players on the right-hand side of the draw. Of course I am. I think Austria are so underrated. I think Austria have been so good under Ralf Rangnick. I even look back to the last Euros. Last 16, Italy played Austria and it was tight. It was really tight. They're a good team. Sabitzer is cheap. He wears the number 9. He's the sort of standout player. Bert Gartner and Sabitzer, the two in the middle of the park I like in the Austria attack. And then you've got Pence in goal. He's like a 4 million option. So there's good players at Austria. Turkey looked poor against the Czech, who we're down to 10 men so early, and Turkey still limped over the line. I'm sure Austria will win that football match. With that in mind, I like Austria assets. The Netherlands selection's the hard one. Ronald Koeman is changing the team so much. But of course, the likes of Van Dijk, De Vrij at the back, Phil nailed Verbruggen, Depay. I don't really fancy Romania in that one. England, I mean, Gareth Southgate defenders, man. You just got to back them, haven't you? I think they'll probably keep a clean sheet and win 2-0. Will they score many? I'm not sure. It could be a 1-0 win. But I like Mark Gahey for the ball recoveries. I think Stones is still a good option. Pickford's a great option. Any of the England defenders, to be fair, are good options. The midfielders have disappointed. Foden, Bellingham, Saka. Kane's underwhelmed and there's a lot of money, but if you can squeeze him in, I think Kane gets a goal against Slovakia. So England assets, of course, you can reinvest in. I'm going to probably only have 2, though, and probably just Gahey and Pickford. Italy, Switzerland, I'm probably not going to be advising you guys to buy early in Swiss players, am I? Because it's such a tight game to call. Will I have an Italian player? Highly likely I do. But that's more heart over head. That's more because I'm picking players for fun here. I'm picking players that I want to be able to really celebrate when they go big. And having at least one Italian player, maybe even that I captain over a German player, gives me that option. Remember, captaincy is spread. We are fortunate that Italy, Germany is day 1. So you've got certainly German options day 1. Day 2, you're going to have Spanish options. Day 3, you're going to have Portugal options. Day 4, there's fewer options. So do look at those teams playing in day 4 and just consider which ones you might want to cover for captaincy. For example, a Dutch player. Also, Mbappe plays in the middle as well. So always an option with Mbappe, despite the fixture. He's accumulated more XG than England in general. So we like that very much. So let's just recap. What are the 3 things you need to know when building a limitless team? Well, number 1, you got to look at that wildcard question. If you've got your wildcard, guys, you can afford to go guilt-free on that left-hand side. If you haven't, then you've got to look at both sides of the draw and think about routes to the semis. And if I haven't, the teams I'm investing big in, or not big, I'm definitely having a Dutch player. I'm probably having 2 Austria, maybe 2 Dutch, 2 Austria. I'm probably having triple England, right? Maybe even quadruple England if I haven't got the wild card. If I have got the wild card, then I'm going lighter on the teams just mentioned, and I'm going to have quadruple Spain. I'm going to have quadruple Portugal. I'm going to have Mbappe, right? That's 9 of your players straight away off the bat. Point number 2, remember you've got 105 million to spend. You're going to see that when you make your transfers, but it's also unlimited. And you can confirm those transfers. So you can lock them in, and then you can go back on the website or the app hours later and make more transfers. Once it's mandatory. Everyone has unlimited. And then number 3 rule, well, you can have up to 4 players per team. And there's players you can target from both sides. So 4 players per team. England, Spain, Portugal. Yeah, we're going to probably be using that on 1 or 2 teams. I certainly am. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing. I'm going to be dropping my locked team selection video on deadline day. So keep your eyes peeled. It's likely to be a Friday night or Saturday morning drop. I'm going to be locking in early. It's the wife's birthday, so no deadline stream from me, but I will be locking the team to show you guys. Thank you as always for supporting the channel, and I will see you very, very soon for that quick turnaround. Bye, guys.